It's the home of Shakespeare, football, and mushy peas. It's a place of happy valleys and friends in the north. It's gritty, outlandish. It's a cracker. If it has a heartbeat, you'll find it here.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of the Best of British. Normally, the Best of British drama, in fact, is what we like to focus on these particular episodes of the show. I've done a few of these, but I haven't done one of them in a while. Why don't we have a look at what we're going to be talking about before I get into it with the Best of British drama? Today, we're going to be talking about MOBLAND.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
We shake the right hands, break the wrong ones.
I think we have a situation developing.
We don't ask, we take. And when someone forgets their place, I've got a man for that.
Problem solved.
Pleased to meet you.
My wife's the brains behind the charm. She holds me together. That makes her the most dangerous of all.
The second you lose trust in me is the second this family turns to dust.
Hope you get my name.
So, are you with us or are you against us?
I was puzzling you with the nature of my game.
Because power is a hungry thing. And there's always a rat bastard looking to take what's mine.
What is this, in Taliban?
Oh, no. When combat gets going, I mean, like, really going, you're gonna wish you was.
MOBLAND, new series streaming March 30th on Paramount Plus.
Okay, so talking about MOBLAND and why this is a pick for the Best of British drama. The show was created by Irish writer and producer Ronan Bennett. Now, you guys may know him for other top quality drama shows. He is also the producer of Top Boy. He also produced The Day of the Jackal, which was a show that I wasn't sure about when I first watched it until it got to the ending, and I thought, you know what, they've actually pulled it off. Did quite like that show in the end, and it was good that it tried to be a little bit different from the original, which was a little bit on the dry side. But anyway, MOBLAND is available on Paramount Plus, and it's actually a live streaming platform that I'm quite impressed with. They put out some pretty good quality programs, stuff that makes it worth your while. Do check out The Offer if you haven't seen it. A fantastic 8-part drama series about the making of The Godfather, the original movie. It's well worth your time. But MOBLAND, starring Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren. You've also got some other fantastic actors in there, including Joanna Froggatt, who's a personal friend of mine. A personal favourite of mine. Joanna Froggatt is not a friend of mine. I haven't met Joanna Froggatt. I have met and I have even directed Luke, who is also in this show, who plays Detective Ivor. I think his name is. Let's just have a quick check on the cast list here. I don't want to get any of my facts wrong. Luke Mabley plays DS Ivan Fisk. I've had the pleasure of directing Luke. That was quite some time ago now. I want to say that was probably 2002, but it was before my brain injury, so my memory on that might be incorrect. We also have fantastic supporting cast in the form of Lara Pulver. Paddy Constantine is in there. Of course, he's an actor at the top of his game. Jeff Bell, another actor at the top of his game. Mandeep Dillon is in there, playing Seraphina Harrigan. She's an actress I've always really liked and admired. And then we have some newbies on the block. We have Teddy Allen, who plays Gina D'Souza. We've Gemma Knight-Jones, who's a relative newcomer. Emmett J. Scanlon. Arnold Ocheng is an actor that I'm very familiar with, and I've followed his career for a while. Good to see him in this. He's not getting a lot to do in this show, which is a bit of a shame. I think he's criminally underused. Anson Boone is an actor that I was not familiar with prior to this show, who plays young upstart Eddie Harrigan. I'll get into the plot a little bit in just a second, and let me just see if there's anyone I've missed who I'd quite like to give a shout out to. We've got a super chat there. I'll get to that in just a second. Janet McTeer turns up. I mean, I've seen her on stage. I've met her in person. She's a fantastic actor. You've got Alex Jennings, who's another fantastic actor. He ducks out of the show fairly early, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, he's a great actor. And then you've got other actors that are kind of climbing up the ladder, as well as some real old hands like Tommy Flanagan pops up in there. Toby Jones pops up towards the end of season 1. It's nice to see a lot of young unknowns getting a little break. One of those young unknowns is a former actor. I say former actor. He's a former student of mine. Sorry, he's currently an actor, and he had a little role in episode 1 of MOBLAND, and he came along to my acting class, I want to say in about 2021, and took on a number of roles, and it was great to see him grow. And then I got to direct him in his first ever professional acting gig, I suppose, which was in the play that we did about the post office drama False Accounts. And I'm going to bring him in just a second because we're going to talk to him about it was only in one episode of MOBLAND, but we're just going to talk about how that was for him. And I believe he got to do a scene with Tom Hardy. In the meantime, I've got a super chat from RRTNZ who says, "Hi Lance, MOBLAND is captivating and frustrating. The performances carry it, but there are too many disparate storylines." I think you meant plural on that. Not sure if the writers intended it, but everyone I know wants Richie to win. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. I don't know that I agree with everything there, but the actors definitely are fantastic. Miles Teller, Lord Toxic says, is great in The Offer. He is. The Offer, also by Paramount Plus, absolutely amazing. Matthew Good as Bob Anderson and Bern Gorman as the Austrian owner steal every scene they're in. I absolutely agree. And that show should have won some Emmys. It was produced by Dexter Fletcher, who's a friend of mine. I don't know why it didn't get them. Anyway, before I get into the rest of this first class show, why I think it's so good and why you think you should watch it, and why it has the accolade of being among the best of British mentioned on the Outcasts Creative, I'm going to bring in my good friend Shaz Ali. Welcome back to the Outcasts Creative channel, buddy. It's been a while since you've been on.
We are
the Outcasts.
We are the
mate.
Outcasts.
I miss saying that at the end of the class. We always used to
mate, I miss your classes full stop. Unbelievable.
You know what?
Absolutely.
I may well start them up again. I've got a couple of big jobs I've got to get out of the way, but I might well start them up again before the end of the year. And if I do, I'll certainly let you know.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely laid down the foundation for everything I'm doing right now. I'm a shy person, as you know, and I was actually really shy about coming on your show. And
yeah, you were. That's true.
Yeah, but just coming to the classes, like from the first day, where I was so scared, to everything you taught me and just getting us to practice and be ourselves, and it was such a safe space for us. Lance, you've done an amazing job, and actually doing your first play was probably the scariest thing I ever done, playing Fujitsu IT. But again, you helped me get through it, all the training, and that definitely laid the foundations to where I'm at now in terms of my confidence. Even doing, the Grenfell system inquiry.
Yeah, that's right. I got to see you.
That was tough, and I don't think I would have been able to get through that had I not been with you first and got to be directed by you. And then you even gave me some pointers on the night where I kind of, froze on stage. But I mean, it's all a learning curve, and you take those experiences with you.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I'm thank you so much for your kind words. It's always, I mean, we are what we influence in a way in the world. our timeline in this strange universe we find ourselves in bisects other people's lives, and that's how we impact and shape to others' lives. You know, the actions of other people shape our own lives. That's what happens. Yeah, I do remember you coming to the class and you know, being for want of a better word, one of the more kind of awkward performers in terms of sort of being uncertain of what you were doing. And but it was great to watch you grow, you know, because you kept coming back, and I would push you a little bit harder every time you came back, just a little bit,
just
and
a little bit. Subtle,
so,
incrementally.
Yeah. RRTNZ wants to know if you are in fact the comedian Ahmad Jahali. I think I pronounced that correctly. No, he's not. Good lookalike though, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when we were doing the post office play, as we keep calling it, false accounts. I remember when we were trying to cast as many people from the Outcasts as possible, because obviously that's what we wanted to do. But we knew we couldn't get the whole cast from there, because we didn't have the right demographic for everybody. And Dickon and I sat down and looked at the roles, and I remember saying, well, I think the one role that Shaz could do it if we just let him do that and nothing else is for Jitsu IT, which, for the benefit of the people listening, is that it was based on a whistleblower who I actually met in reality. I met him in a pub. It was quite a surreal experience. The guy had kind of like a face mask on and like a winter sort of hooded, you know, ski mask thing on with dark glasses. I could barely see his face. In fact, I couldn't really see his face, which was the idea. And sort of listening to him talk and make notes.
Yeah.
And then you kind of became that a version of that character, and by the end of the run, I mean, it was only a short run that we did, but by the end of the run, you were able to have a bit of fun with it, which was
I mean,
good.
First day backstage, I thought I was going to die. Like, it was really scary, but just getting through it, making sure I don't fumble my lines and everything. I was happy. And then you sort of learn and pick up little things. You obviously gave me great feedback, and I think the best feedback you gave me was, I was trying to tell some jokes that you had written, and I wouldn't get any reaction out of the crowd, and it was, Shaz, slow down, let the audience process what you're saying. So then I think the second or third night, I said a joke and I counted in my head, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone laughed. I was like, okay, there you go. Because I was so nervous.
Sometimes you got to let things land. Yeah,
exactly.
Indeed.
I was just rushing through my lines, just trying to get through it. But you know, it's a learning process, and I thank you for it.
So I think you've got an agent now, is that right?
I'm with Red Door Management in Manchester. Yeah. Well, Manchester, London. Yeah.
Okay. And did that come about as a result of the Grenfell play, or?
No, I was with Nick Knight from Anna Shears for a couple of years. He done really well with me and helped me progress. And then, you know, when I moved to Manchester, it was just time to move on.
Yeah, logical.
Yeah, and I'm with an agent that's sort of literally like 10 minutes away from where I live.
Okay.
And just, you know, they're able just to keep an eye on me. And yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm still trying to earn my stripes and just do what I can.
Was it them that got you seen for MOBLAND?
No, that came via Spotlight at the end of. Yeah, it's on Spotlight. The casting director at the time I was with Nick. I left them just at and I started with Red Door just this year, but I've been with Nick before that, and it was good. What was interesting for me was we shot MOBLAND, the first episode, in mid-November, and then 4 months later it's out. I couldn't believe it. Like 4 months, that is a fast turnover.
Well, I mean, nowadays, you know, because everything's digital, of course, and you know, I mean, it has been for a while, but I mean, younger editors and things like that, they work at such a frenetic pace. I mean, people will literally edit scenes on set while you're shooting.
On set, it's crazy. I mean, I was lucky enough to be in the second season of 1,000 Blows, which we filmed 2 years ago at the end of 2023, and I'm still waiting for that. There's still things I've done that I'm still waiting for, but this came out in like 4 months. So I was blown away at how quick the whole process was.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that this has had such a fast turnaround, and you did the second season of 1,000 Blows, and we still haven't seen that yet, which is with Stephen Graham, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that may be the release delay on that could be down to any number of internal political production factors. I won't drag those out now, but let's go back to Mobland. Was this a self-tape?
Yeah, so it was a self-tape. They were looking for a nightclub manager. The sort of description was friendly guy, just sort of down to earth, maybe with a bit of a cheeky side to him. Will do anything for money sort of thing. And I think I sent my self-tape off, and then 2 weeks later, they offered the role, and they said, you're filming like literally in 3-4 days. So even the casting, I think, was just like very quick.
Right.
And I'm very, consider myself very lucky to get this small part, but it was great. There was, how many lines did I have? I had like a good 3 or 4 lines. And I mean, for this particular role, although I had 3 or 4 lines, I think I read my episode, the first episode, 3 times. I learned as much as I could about every character. And although I was a nightclub manager, I still gave myself a backstory. Who am I? What am I doing? And it was amazing. I remember I prepared really well for this role. I learned all my lines. I have to say, the lines didn't flow so well of what the script that they sent me. And so I was a bit nervous about that. And then when I got to set, big old Guy Ritchie was there. And I had so many things going through my head. Of course, I said, "Oh, what an honor it is to work with you. Thank you for having me." But there was so much more I wanted to say, but I had to stop myself because obviously,
that was. I mean, that was enough, and some people probably wouldn't have even said that. But I think that's fine for a.
Yeah. And then he shook my hand. He knew I wanted to say something, so he was just looking into my soul and then squeezing my hand really hard. But I didn't say. I just stopped myself and I said, "It's just a pleasure to be here." And he was like, "Right then." And then he picks the script and he goes, "This doesn't work," throws it away. And it's like we're just there on the spot figuring out what to do. He had me go in like 3 different spots for that scene, tried a few lines out, and then funny enough, I was like, "Oh my god!" So in 5-10 minutes we're about to shoot, and he's giving me these lines now. Okay, and likewise with the other guy that I worked with, Tristan, and but funny enough, the lines he gave us sort of just flowed so well, and it was actually easier for me to learn what he told me to say in 5 minutes than the script they had sent me, the week before that I was up all night learning.
Surely the stuff you had done with the Outcasts, my class, was predominant. We would do script work occasionally, but maybe one class in 6 or something. But predominantly we did improvisation, which allowed us a lot of freedom of how to structure the class and things. That must have been incredibly useful in that moment.
Absolutely useful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You were basically being asked to improvise on the spot. You've got a character background, which would have helped with that as well.
Yeah, I sort of created that myself, but
it wasn't good so preparation, isn't it?
Yes, it wasn't so much improvisation. We had to say line like verbatim for what he told us to say.
But by virtue of being used to improvising, because me, I would quite heavily script the improv in terms of giving you guys details.
Yeah,
that kind of on the spot. Sometimes we'd even start sketches with a particular line. So I'd give you a line, and you've got to repeat that line back to me in the scene 2 minutes later. It's kind of the similar setup, really, isn't it?
Lance, absolutely. That's what I said in the beginning. The foundations you laid is really helped me out with what was happening so far in the past 2.5 years. I actually felt very, very comfortable on set, which was a strange feeling. Everything just felt very comfortable. And then, of course, you do your like 4 or 5 lines, and then you're wondering, do I make the cut or not? And luckily enough, they kept a line in, so I was happy with that. 1 or 2 lines, and you
didn't get cut out.
Yeah, exactly.
The show. Have you been watching the show?
I have been watching the show. Yeah, I have.
So I'm up to episode 8. I think episode 9 drops today.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to watch that actually as soon as I get off this. Now, have you seen the end? I don't want to get into spoilers, but have you at this moment? But have you seen the ending of episode 8?
I think I have. Yes, I'm actually having trouble with my TV cutting on and off, which I need to
some
sort out. But
characters. If I just say some characters get killed without saying who or under what circumstances.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that coming? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't see any of it coming. But I know someone commented earlier that they're rooting for Richie. I'm just rooting for Harry. I just want Harry to get through it all, the fixer, so to speak.
Well, I mean, it's a lot happens in episode 8. I mean, so for those people that haven't watched the show and don't know, this is basically it's a gangland drama series predominantly set in London. It's a London that we recognise. So unlike Gangs of London, which is, I have to say, Gangs of London was a massive letdown for me.
Right.
They did this really stupid thing where they blew up a building in the centre of London, which in the city of London, which if that had happened, would have killed, even at night, would have killed hundreds of people. And this was just not a London that I recognised, and it was just this highly fictionalised version of London, and that just didn't work for me. And I didn't care about any of the characters. I just didn't buy it. And then we've had 2 other shows recently. We've had This City Is Ours, which is BBC co-production. You can watch it on BBC iPlayer. It's all set in Liverpool, which has a fantastic cast, really good show. And we have this one, which dropped they dropped in the same week. And I think MOBLAND is the stronger show. You've got.
How do you compare it to Gentleman?
I think it's the stronger show. I think it's better than The Gentleman as well.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Even though it's missing Hugh Grant. Even though it's missing Hugh Grant. But I just think it's a bit more gripping. I like the characters in this. The only character I'm not too sure about. I'll see if we can get a picture of him up here.
The son.
Yeah, you knew I was going to say that, didn't you?
Yeah. He's a talented lad, but
it's not. I want to be very clear. It's not the fault of the actor. Here he is, Anson Boone. It's just that his character is written so two-dimensionally. He's such the spoilt rich kid. He's got no other nuance to him at all. There's no other hidden qualities. He doesn't have a softer side. It's there's nothing else to him. Now that may come later, but at the minute he is just a two-dimensional. We've seen this character, this spoilt character who makes stupid decisions and gets people in trouble. We've seen him in so many other films.
Yeah, I mean, this whole war's based on what he did, right?
Yeah, I mean, he starts it basically. I love Helen Mirren's character. I love Pierce Brosnan's character. I love the dimension between them as a family. I just think Anson Boone has been handed a bit of a poison chalice. He's got the weakest character in a brilliant show. And I mean, all he can do is ham him up, really, because that's the way the role's written.
He's a lovely kid, though. I did meet him. Really sweet guy, just very polite. Nothing like what you see on screen, which is a testament to
I can absolutely see he's a talented actor. I just don't think the writing is serving that character. We need a scene or two where maybe we find, kind of not in front of people. There's another side to him. And I think, he could have been a spoiled kid, but he could still be intelligent. He could still have the potential to be a good leader. Why just make him this shitty, annoying brat? I don't know. It's a trope I've seen in too many shows.
Yeah, I don't know how much to say without giving too many spoilers away, but I totally get what you're saying. And what's your thoughts on the accents, Lance?
I'm okay with the accents. Some people have said the Irish accents are a little bit off with certain characters. I think they're fine. They're close enough. Helen Mirren's accent is fine. It's a little bit theatrical, but it's fine. And I find that the sort of inter-family dynamics, I think, are really good with all the different characters. I liked the 2 police characters. I think we could have seen a bit more of Luke Mabley and the new actress who plays his the other detective. Just checking out her IMDb actually. Gemini Jones, because she's a relative newcomer. I mean, you've got more credits than she does.
Oh wow, okay.
And I know, mate, just goes to show IMDb. Jeff Bell is an actor that I always really love, who plays.
Yeah,
Richard
he's
Stevens.
amazing. Yeah.
Did you get to meet?
I didn't, but he definitely reminds you of Bricktop, doesn't he?
He does remind me of Bricktop. Now, I had a friend who worked with him. He was on set all day with him. I'm not going to say who it was, but and he told me this really funny story, which I'll repeat, but I'm not going to use the real name. I'll say that this person was talking about John Smith, and this guy's talking to Jeff Bell. I think they were sitting together at lunch, and I tell you what, that fucking actor, that John Smith, that fucking actor, do you know what? He's just made it to the top of my cunt list. And I thought that I can hear Jeff Bell saying that word for word. And it was funny. And the actor who he was speaking about, relatively well-known actor, most people would know who they are. And I thought, wow, they must have done something really bad to upset him. That's another one of my fucking, he's on the top of my cunt list. So, but I remember the first thing I saw Jeff Bell in, he had a relatively small role, and I was like, who is this guy? This guy is kind of really scary. So when you put him in anything, he brings that kind of gravitas. He's maybe his range of roles is not amazing, but you put him in the right role, he just adds fire to scenes he's in. Got presence, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
What do you think was the biggest? What was the biggest thing that you learnt being on the set of MOBLAND? What was the biggest lesson for you?
The biggest lesson for me,
as a young actor.
Working with Guy Ritchie, absolutely amazing. He actually didn't give me any notes. Funny enough, he just said, "Well done" on each take, which I was blown away by. But it was just the way he we were in the scene and he's looking at what's going on. He's looking at me. I knew when he shook my hands, and he just changed sort of my character description there and then. Kind of more like it was almost like a description of Tony Soprano, who's like, be a bit more like standoffish. I mean, you guys didn't get to see that because I only made 10 seconds, but it was a lot more confrontational. And there were lines he was throwing in, but without going into too much detail, I can tell you this alone, but the lines didn't quite work out for everyone, and so it wasn't quite the vision he had in terms of. I think that's why all the lines we went through didn't get shown, but no, it was really good, and it was just amazing the way he made it flow. That was the most impressive thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to think. He was able to think on his feet and come up with a solution. Which, I mean, 90% of directing is problem solving.
No, so it was amazing. I mean, I was there for one day. Of course, I would have liked to be there a bit more, but that one day was amazing. Yeah.
Maybe you'll come back in the second season as a villain called the Sleeping Elephant. Who knows?
Who knows, lads?
We shall see. All right. Well, look, I know you've got an early start tomorrow, so I'm gonna let you go. But thanks for popping in and telling us how you.
Let us know when those classes start again.
Listen, if the Outcast acting classes are back on, it will be all over my social media. And good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Lance. And thank you for everything again, honestly.
No, not at all. Keep me posted about anything else you're in.
Yeah.
And do come back on the channel and talk to us another time. And don't forget the play's on in Birmingham again at the end of June. Yeah. So if you do want to come up and see and support it, please do. If you can't make it, just mention it on your social media. We'd appreciate it, of course.
Yeah, we'll do. Oh yeah, my social media Instagram's Shaz_scripted.
There you go. Shaz
_scripted. Yeah, nice one, Lance.
At Shaz. Let me just put that in the chat before you go. Is that all lowercase?
Yeah, SHAZ_scripted.
Yeah, I've got it. So I just put that in the chat. So guys, if you want to follow Shaz on Instagram and his acting journey, It is at Shaz_scripted on Instagram. You can follow Shaz there, and he does also send out autographed headshots for a small fee. So
we are
the Outcasts. Fantastic,
Outcasts.
mate.
Love you,
I'll see
Lance.
you
Take
again
care.
soon. Take care. Bye. So that was actor Shaz Ali, who had a small role in episode 1 of MOBLAND, who is a former acting student of mine, for those people who've just joined us. Let me continue talking about why this is the very best of British drama. So for me, MOBLAND has the key ingredients that you need for a successful show. First of all, number one, you've got to have a good script and good characters. Now, whilst there are some well-worn tropes in this and the script is not perfect, we do have very well-rounded, fantastic characters. The story of two warring families is again, has been done before. But this is a London that I recognise. This is not the London of Gangs of London. This is the London of today. It's recognisable. You know, we've got things like the Millennium Dome and stuff like that. Whereas this highly fictionalised Gangs of London just doesn't work for me. Secondly, it's got an absolute first-class cast from the leads, Tom Hardy being the big player, of course, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren. But you've got fantastic actors in supporting parts, as well as some really talented newcomers. You've got people that, in my view, are a bit underused and a bit underrated, like Luke Mabley, who really should be in more stuff. Jeff Bell has been in a lot of stuff, but I want to see him in even more things, ideally. So, you know, two box ticks straight away. Good script and story for the most part. Great casting across the board. There's not any weak actors. There's no weak actors in this show, in even the small roles. Secondly, it's got very high production value. It looks great. There's a lot of money been spent on the production design, the costumes, the settings. The location work is very good. So let's give some of these people their due. Ronan Bennett, who created this show, is, of course, the creator of Top Boy, among his many other credits. I talked about him earlier. Joanna Froggatt is another of my favourite actors. Paddy Considine is another of my favourite actors. Mandeep Dhillon as well. I mean, these are all great actors at the top of their game. But I want to just go to the crew credits for a second, because when people review stuff, they really don't, you know, we don't give the people in the other key roles their due. We don't give them a mention. So I want to talk about the way the show looks, and of course that's down to three key areas: art direction, production design, and the director of photography. So we have the music is also very good. Matthew Bellamy and Ilan Eshkeri doing the music, two composers. I do like that. We have 4 different cinematographers. Now that's interesting. We do have some episodes that are shot in Antwerp and Holland, so I dare say that they used a local DOP for that episode. And I imagine they probably had 2 units on this film shooting simultaneously on the show, rather. Look at the number of editors you have, for example, so that certainly suggests that to me. The casting is really good across the board. The key casting director is Des Hamilton. He has also done The King, War Machine, Suspect, the shooting of Jean-Charles de Menez. We talked about that last week. That's a fantastic show, and I did also credit the casting. He did the Time Bandit series, which no one liked, no one watched, and everyone hated, unfortunately. He also did Breathtaking, about the COVID thing, which that was an exceptionally good show. That was also with Joanna Froggatt. So this is a casting director who's been around for a very long time, done a huge amount of work. The casting directors with great relationships with agents and with actors will often be the people who are able to pull out the stops and get a fantastic cast. Interesting to see that they started around 2002 with a number of shorts, which is how a lot of people begin. and then became the casting director on some independent features. Bullet Boy, I remember Bullet Boy was being made. I had a load of people that worked on that. So yeah. So it's not surprising with someone like Des Hamilton on board. Let's just give the man a... There he is. Yeah, do you know what? I feel like I've met Des somewhere. But anyway, yeah, BAFTA winner. Done very well. And he's from Scotland. So going back to the crew credits, I want to see who the production designer is. It is Andrew Purcell, and the art directors are Rosie Clark and Ed Turner, who is the supervising art director. Now, Andrew Purcell has done tons of shows. Yeah, Hijack, Riviera, which really does look luscious. 13, Tripped, Delicious, Mimic. And this is a art director who's been around for a couple of decades, certainly 3 even. Started off on things like The Bill and The Casualty before doing 20 episodes of Wycliffe. So he has also worked on Waking the Dead and Afterlife with, I don't think that's the Ricky Gervais one though, is it? Let's have a quick look. I don't think so. Because this is 2006, so this is with Leslie Sharp and Andrew Lincoln. Yeah, that's a different show altogether. But yeah, the art direction by Andrew Purcell, great job. Fantastic to see. So there you go. So the other thing that's great about MOBLAND is it's got some really good twists. It's got some really good shocking moments. And episode 8 really raises the game of this show. There was one moment in this show that I did not see coming, and suddenly there's a new player on the field. Key characters get killed, and they get killed very quickly, and you feel those characters are being set up for something else, so you really just do not see that coming. Yeah, Tom Hardy is his usual brooding self in the show. I mean, Helen Mirren is kind of stealing all of her scenes. Joanna Froggatt has to play a completely straight part, but I have to say, I feel like Jeff Bell, who plays Richie Stevenson, I feel like he is stealing this show. I really do rate Jeff Bell as an actor. There are still 2 episodes to go, so it's difficult for me to give an absolute final rating on this show because I haven't seen the last 2 episodes yet. However, on the strength of episodes 1 through 8, 8 being one of the best television drama episodes I have seen in years, it's on quality with some of the best stuff in The Shield, that particular episode, which of course is my favorite TV show of all time. I'm going to have to say that I'm leaning in quite hard to an 8, 8.5 out of 10 for this show to date. It is certainly one of the best gangland sort of drama shows made. It's not without cliche, it's not without issues, but it has definitely earned a place as one of the best of British dramas. What qualifies for a best of British drama on the Outcasts Creative channel? Well, it's not about the financing of the project, because we know that all these kinds of shows get financed all over the shop these days. It's about the content. Is it set predominantly in the UK? Does it have British characters and British themes? Is it, a sort of what we would call a sort of a British storyline? And even though this has Irish families in it, it's really about an Irish family and a British family at war. This feels very much like a British drama, so it does qualify to be among the best of British. I do really love this show. So if you haven't seen it, MOBLAND is available now on Paramount Plus. As I said, there's 8 episodes out. They're all around 45 minutes long, I think. It is very, very much worth your time. Binge it one weekend. It's a good show to watch with your partner. There's plenty of eye candy for both men and women in this show, and I think it's a show that people all round can appreciate. Probably not one to watch with your kids. Might be a bit too violent for your kids, depending on your parental sensibilities. But I do not want to see this show turn into a musical, so I'm going to say no on that idea. All right, so before I sign off for the night, I just want to remind people that several years ago, I wrote a stage play called False Accounts, which was about the biggest miscarriage of justice in British history. This is the Horizon Post Office scandal. It is still going on. We were the first drama production about this topic, this dreadful topic. We were the first to do this show. And unfortunately, a lot of people have not been compensated yet, and they should have been. Now, the good news is that my play about the post office scandal is back on again at the end of June. It's going on in Birmingham. It's a co-production with the Birmingham Theatre Company. And this is the first time that I am going to see a play of mine that I've written that I won't have directed. The show's been on 4 times before, and I directed or co-directed it with Dickon Tolson, and you know, I had a lot of fun directing the show. I was actually in it, and I was due to direct this show. That was the plan, but right around the time that it came to sort of finalize the contract and the rights and this kind of thing, I had some other work sort of come on the table, and I couldn't do both of these jobs. I just knew it was impossible. And the other thing that was impossible was the second job, which was a film job. The dates were not certain at that time. They were not certain. And so I was not able to do both projects. One of them had to go, and I had already directed. I've already covered the British theme thing. I spoke about it earlier. I had already directed False Accounts before, so I decided that it was time for me to pass the reins over to someone else. So we have talked about MOBLAND in great detail. You're going to have to forgive the shameless plug, but I am going to plug False Accounts is back on in Birmingham. You've got performances on the 26th of June, on the 3rd of July, and there are two performances in Solihull on the 5th of July. And I will be at the first of those giving a talk, a Q&A with the new director, I think, and also the producer, maybe some of the cast. And yeah, look forward to doing that. So if you haven't heard about this scandal, if you don't know what the Horizon Post Office scandal is about, I have got a little video for you, which will just give you some information on that so you can see for yourself. So instead of cutting to end credits on tonight's broadcast, I'm going to cut to this video. Remember, though, that the booking information is the stuff you can see now. I haven't had a chance to update the video yet. So if you do decide you want to go, you're based in the UK, you want to come and see the play, do say hello to me if you see me there. I'm always up for talking to people. Thank you very much for tuning in for the Best of British. MOBLAND, I recommend it. I give it 8.5 out of 10. 2 episodes left to go, but I couldn't wait any longer. I just really wanted to talk about the show. I wanted to recommend this show. I think it's worth your time. I think it'll have a great ending, and I think we'll be looking at a setup for season 2, which I will gladly also watch. Until then, False Accounts is on in a few weeks at the end of June. The biggest miscarriage of justice in British history. This is what it's about. And just to remind people, this is where the show is at the end of June and also on the 3rd and the 5th of July in Birmingham and the Solihull area. If you're in the UK, do come and support it and check out the Postmasters on Britain's Got Talent. They have made it all the way to the final, and you know what? They're going to win. That's it from the Outcasts Creative for tonight. That's it from the Best of British. Until next time, I will see you all again soon.
It's the home of Shakespeare, football and mushy peas. It's a place of happy valleys and friends in the north. It's gritty, outlandish, it's a cracker. If it has a heartbeat, you'll find it here.